How's it going out there, everyone? W.F.S. here, and today we're going to look at the fourth episode of Strange New Worlds Season 4, Episode 4, A Case of Chiaroscuro. Now, before we get into it, I just want you to know right off the bat that your monitor is not messed up. You don't need to adjust the color because this episode is in black and white. But why is it in black and white? Well, let's find out.
I'm fine, just not used to seeing things in black and white.
That's due to the infrared black-body spectra from the Mataran star. But the radiation only affects how we perceive color.
Okay, you got that, right? Well, that explains everything, doesn't it? The problem here is that this has already been done in Star Trek Continues. In the latest episode, or rather the last episode of Strange New Worlds, I felt like they were ripping off either the Amityville Horror or the Event Horizon. In this episode, right from the beginning, it feels like we're ripping off Star Trek Continues. Take a look at episode 9 from Star Trek Continues. What ships are for, and tell me what you see. A black and white screen. And why is this happening on this episode?
Spock, can you explain our vision?
In fact, I can. An unusual form of radiation emitted by their sun. Unlike anything I've encountered, it impairs the function of cone cells in humanoid eyes.
Cone cells allow us to see color.
Correct, Doctor.
Makes sense, Joe.
Good work, Spock.
Honestly, that's where I thought we were going here. They were ripping off Star Trek Continues. But they used that as an excuse for the real reason for this episode. And honestly, this entire episode, as far as I'm concerned, is nothing more than lazy writing. It is just sad.
How do you do? How do you do? Well, here's a great deal about Rick in Casablanca. And about Victor Laszlo everywhere. Won't you join us for a drink?
Oh, no, Rick,
Well,
never.
thanks, I will.
Well, a precedent is being broken. Emil?
So apparently the idea for this episode is, I guess, some kind of a tribute to Casablanca. Now, to be fair about it, I never really sat through the whole movie. I know it's a classic and everything. I tried, but to me, it didn't hold my attention. But I know there's a lot of people out there who give that thing high praise. The sad thing about it for me is that once again, Strange New Worlds, and I've already covered this, is taking elements from other shows and other movies and blending it and trying to say, oh, we're just showing a tribute, when all this tells me is they have no idea what they're doing. They're just making up stuff as they go along, or they're ripping off from someone else.
We can hide the shuttle. The life signs are still traceable.
We'll synthesize civilian attire, and we'll try to blend in.
What do the people on Matar 12 even look like?
Okay, that last conversation absolutely confused me no end. They're going to synthesize the clothing attire, but they have no idea what the people on this planet look like. How do you know the clothing they're wearing, and yet you don't know what the people look like? By the way, they do know it's a Klingon-occupied planet because they're in Klingon-occupied space. I'm being very critical here because this is absolutely bad as far as I'm concerned because, again, they are synthesizing the attire of a planet they know nothing about, really know nothing about. And for some miraculous reason, not only do they get the clothing right, but they also seem to be wearing clothes from the 1930s or 40s. Oh, and yes, of course, everyone on the planet, conveniently enough, is human. What's even more amazing about the planet is the fact that everywhere they go on this planet, they've got trains, they've got cars. Again, this is supposed to be another episode where they're showing respect for movies or television shows, in this case Casablanca, but everything on this world just happens to be an exact replica of something from the 30s and 40s. Now, to be fair about it, I honestly believe the wardrobe they chose for this episode was fantastic. They look great in it. But if I'm going to be fair about it, when it comes to the episode itself, I absolutely found it boring. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the episode itself. First of all, the basic premise here is that it was a rescue mission. A satellite had somehow drifted into Klingon territory. The Enterprise can't go in to get it because it may ignite a civil war or another war with the Klingon Empire. So they send number one, the Doctor and Uhura in the shuttle to retrieve the satellite. They send the satellite back over, but before the shuttle can come back, a Klingon bird of prey blocks their path, and they have to land on the planet and wait for this Klingon ship to get out of the way so they can come back to the Enterprise. They're supposed to be discreet. They're not supposed to let anyone know they're there. But guess what? They're going to abandon the shuttle, and they are going to let everyone know that they are there. Conveniently enough, once they get on the planet, they discovered that number one is an exact lookalike to the leader of a resistance on this planet. That's right. She's been missing for over 2 days now, and so number one is going to take her place. Sounds a little bit like we are visiting DS9 in the alternate universe, don't you think? Oh, guess who's in this episode too? Kor.
Kor, a Dahar master, the man who held the Korma Pass against Tanag.
Now, to be fair about it, they do a decent job representing Kor in this episode. But I'm sorry, the episode itself just to me seems so pointless. So while our brave crew are doing the best they can to impersonate the Casablanca movie on Marana 12, Lon here, after receiving the satellite, has discovered that some of the information data is missing from it and starts to believe that some way, somehow, someone, maybe on the Enterprise, may have stolen the data or erased it for some nefarious reason, starts investigating what may have happened, and along the way starts thinking to herself that maybe I'm having some paranoid issues because of my episode back on season 3 where I was turned into a Vulcan, and somehow, maybe some way, my genetic manipulated Khan DNA is starting to activate, and maybe I'm starting to become warrior-like again, or something. Anyway, she starts investigating that little possibility, only to find at the end of it that it was not at all anything she expected, especially the person she discovers, who actually did it for okay reasons, I guess, but still. I honestly think, for the most part, this episode was really, really a weak one. This next scene here, I see so many problems, but I'll let you be the judge.
I delight in what comes next. I so rarely get to utilize our mind scanner.
Would you like to try our little truth finder?
I don't understand it.
It's a mind sifter, or mind ripper, depending on how much force is used. We can record every thought, every bit of knowledge in a man's mind. Of course, when that much force is used, the mind is emptied. Permanently, I'm afraid.
All right, well, I'm not going to talk too much more about this episode. You're either going to watch it and have your opinion of whether it's good or not, or you're just not going to watch it. In either case, I hopefully have given you some information and some things that I've pointed out that I believe are wrong with this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on it, so please drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.